Welcome to SmileDirectClub's How to Make a Great First Impression video. My name is Dr. S, and this is Gina.
Hi.
You have probably received an impression kit. Why don't you take time to get it out? And what we're going to do today is work through together taking impressions of our lower teeth. We're going to do 2 lower impressions, and we're going to do 2 upper impressions, and then we're going to take some photos at the end. Let's go through the contents of your impression kit, and for those of you who don't have a kit at home, you can go to SmileDirectClub.com and order one. You'll have one within 48 hours. First, we have impression trays. There are 4 of these. We're going to be taking 4 impressions. Each tray is the same size and same color. We can use them for the upper or the lower arches. There's also impression material, the putty material. They're located in these little jars, and there's a gray and a purple. Also in your kits, the smile stretcher, which is right here, and we're going to use this for our photo section of our process this morning. And then also is the impression guide right here, which will detail exactly all the steps that we're going to go through today, but it's also something that you can refer to as you're seeing the video. Before you view the video again, you might want to open up your impression guide. And then there is a form so that you can order your aligners. We want to make sure that we have gloves in the kit as well to keep everything nice and clean. A couple of tips before we start. When we take our first impression, we're going to do the lower first. And what you want to do is pretend that the lower is sort of a landing strip, and that when the tray is full of impression material, you're just going to kind of hover over your teeth, nice and steady, and then with one motion, press down, straight down onto your teeth, landing. So you want to get your gloves on. A couple of other tips while we're doing our impressions today. You want to make sure that you have your cell phones available, and those cell phones are used for your timer. And also you want to have towels available in case you tend to drool a little bit while they're doing this video. First thing we're going to do is mix the 2 colors, the A and the B is what we call it. And it's actually important to understand the reason why we have them in 2 separate containers is because this way the material will not set while we deliver it to you. And when we mix the colors, we want to make sure that the colors come together as one, and that means that it's ready to be used for the impression. So we're going to have about a minute to go through 3 processes. We're going to mix the material, and then we're going to place it in the tray, and then we're going to place it in our mouths. Here we go. We're going to mix the material. It's about 20 seconds. It might be a little bit longer, and that's okay. You can take probably up to 30 seconds. You're doing great. You want to use your fingers. That's good. Doing good. And move them as fast as you can. Occasionally you can move them in your palm just to get the materials to stay together. And again, the idea is to get one smooth color out of this. Doing great. So what you want to do is roll them in a ball. You got a nice color. It's been about 30 seconds now. Let's roll it into a column like so. And then we want to place it in the tray. Nice and evenly in the tray. Make sure it's all packed in nicely, smooth to the back end. I'll make sure it's back, like so. And don't be afraid to push down hard on the material. So you want to make sure that the tray is full, back to the ends of the tray, and all the material is in nice and solid, up at about the top of the tray. And now we're ready to place in, go past the lips and cheek, and hover, and then drop down one quick moment.
And we're going to be doing this for 3.5 minutes, so start your timers now.
That looks great, Gina. Keep it nice and stable. So one of our key elements of this, of the lower impression, is to lock onto the lower jaw, if you can, with your thumbs. Keep the tray on with your 4 fingers. That's nicely done, very well done. There are things we want to look at. Again, if the impression doesn't come out great for the first time, we'll be doing it again on the lower, and then we'll have 2 impressions of the upper. There are things we're looking for when we're looking at a bad impression. This is one that didn't turn out quite so well. What we see is that this impression wasn't placed in far enough here and here. We also don't have a similar color. It's all different colors, so it wasn't mixed very well. Plus, we didn't capture the back molars on this side. And here you can see we didn't even really get any impression here at all. And then when we look at an impression that was done very well, you can see that we've captured the gum line here and here, which is great. We've got the molars, which is nice. And it's all one color, which is good. So yes, this is a great impression. Even in the front, which is the hardest areas to capture, we have the gum lines, which is great. You folks are doing a great job. Okay, you doing fine so far? Good for you, good for you.
There are 3 common problems with impressions that we want to avoid. First, the impression is too shallow, which occurs because the impression tray was not pushed up far enough. To avoid this, you want to be able to push the tray far enough up so that your teeth gently touch the tray. The second is movement of the impression while it is setting. And to avoid this, you want to place your thumbs in the canine area on both sides of the tray for the entire 3.5 minutes while the putty is setting. Hold in place with no movement. And finally, the putty is poorly mixed. This is due to not blending the 2 putties. The 2 colors need to become one even color. To avoid this, make sure you use your fingertips to mix the 2 putties, turning them over and over again so that the 2 colors become one without any streaks in it. You should use the full 20 to 30 seconds you have to thoroughly mix the 2 putties.
We have about 1 minute left of your time here. You can see the timer in the corner or use your cell phone. Again, keep the tray stable as best as you can without movement. That's an important part of this because as I showed you the good impression, it was very stable and didn't show any additional movement in it. So you doing okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, got about another 30 seconds. You might want to get your towel out if you need it. And a couple of hints: when we take the impression out, you want to slide your fingers towards the back end of the impression tray and just kind of lift evenly from both sides. You don't have to be that careful because the material will stay in the tray, it'll lock in the tray. The trays are designed for the material to stay in the tray. And you might even hear a pop or a suction sound, which is really good. And that's an indication that the impression is probably really well done. So we're getting closer now. We have about 5 seconds. Okay. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Gina, why don't you try to, you can hear it snap out. And there we go. Let's see how this was. Very nicely done. I think you did great. Now that you're done with your second lower impression, let's do your upper impressions. This time we're going to pretend that the spaceship is hovering, 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 and then you have to push up. And when you push up, it's a little bit harder. You want to apply enough force with your thumbs to keep the tray in place. And what you want to do is you want to use your fingers and place them by where the canines are, your thumbs, to push up. Because when you take upper impressions, you don't have the advantage of the gravity. So you want to make sure you keep the tray in place. Okay. Now remember the spaceship, you hover in and press up. You want to press up evenly using your thumbs until your teeth gently touch the tray. What we want you to do now is to take these 4 impressions, place them in the box that we sent out to you. On the bottom of the box is a shipping label. It's all ready to go. All you need to do is place these 4 impressions. You don't have to do anything else. They should stay. The material stays in the tray. Just place the 4 trays in the box all by themselves, close the box, seal up the box. You have to make sure that you have filled out your fast track form. Please do that as well. Have that in the box when you send it back to us. And just drop it in the mail. Now we're going to show you how to take the 5 necessary photos that we need to complete the process. So you'll use your Smile stretcher, if you can take it out.
Sure.
And you can see there's
Which side?
Well, there's a thicker, longer edge on one side. That goes on the inside of the mouth. So if you place that in, it'd be great. And you need to have your buddy available to get ready to take some photos. We're going to take 5 photos, and you can see what happens when you wear one of these Smile stretchers. It actually stretches out the cheeks and lips so that we can get a good view of the teeth and the gums and all the supporting structures. We're going to be starting with an open upper. So if you can open real wide, that's great. Perfect. And don't be afraid to get right close to your patient. We're going to do open lower, open real wide if you can. Perfect. Wow, that's a great film. Now we're going to do closed teeth right. If you can give me a little bit more. Oh, that's good. Perfect. Okay, and closed teeth left. A little bit more cheek. I need a little bit more. Keep your teeth together, please. That's good. Okay, and then now with just your smile. Perfect. Now that we've finished our photos, we need you to go to SmileDirectClub.com to upload those photos. Now that we've captured all the data and information that we need, we have the impressions sent to us, we have the photos now. This is wonderful. Thank you for beginning your journey with us, and thank you for joining today. We had a lot of fun and really appreciate your time, and I hope you've enjoyed this as well. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to give us a call at Smile Direct Club. And thank you again.